are a superstar. Symbol of a woman who be working for herself. You are a superstar. Owamie, 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 Owamie. You a vlogger, fashion over. You a being one less than I'm a ghost. Owamie, 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 Owamie.
Hi ninjas, how are you guys doing? It's your girl Owamie, aka Miss Fearful, bring back for our entertainment. If it's the first time joining me, was definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you, and do not forget, follow me on Instagram. It's at boldly Owamie. Now my ninjas, happy Friday. Today we're going to talk about Julius Malema. Now Julius Malema, you guys, is appearing in court right now. So he's being sued for, let me just go ahead and read this so that I do not even confuse it. So they're saying that Malema has been accused of hate speech for allegedly singing the song outside a court appearance in Senegal 2 years ago. And the song that I heard in some of the clips that I obviously saw, because I didn't watch the whole case or his whole, but I feel like I'm gonna have to sit down and actually watch, because I feel like I need to just understand Malema a little bit more, okay? So the song that we're talking about is Kiss the Boa, the farmer, kiss the boa, hey, the farmer, I know. And when they asked him how, he said, mwah, kiss them, kiss the boa, kiss the farmer, okay? So basically, you guys, Malema is on the stand, and when I tell you that them suing, from what I understand, is that the lawyer that is there is from Afriforum. Now, if you do not know Afriforum, Afriforum is one, or if not the biggest, okay, I should go ahead and say one of, because I do not know, but one of the biggest and one of the richest white-owned group, okay? So basically what they do is that it's just a bunch of white people that every month they put in money, from what I've heard, okay? Unless if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard. If it is the same Afriforum that I think they said it was there by vets, these people have money, like not small shmanish, okay? Long money. This here is deep money. These people have money. And so if it is a lawyer from Afriforum, then I would just probably assume that it means that Afriforum is the one that decided that they were going to take action. And when I tell you this might have been the worst thing that they could have ever done for themselves, I am telling you. After this case, you guys, there might be a revolution that is definitely going to come. At this particular moment, they just gave Malema leadership on a silver platter. If you had any misunderstandings when it comes to Julius Malema and you watch that, I kid you not, you're coming out saying, that's gonna be my president. Personally, from what I have watched, not even going to lie, I might even convert. I don't know, Shibubu, okay? Like, if Julius Malema just went on and said the whole open borders is not going to happen, child, we might be running that side of the EFF, okay? For me, I feel like there's just so much that is going on and everything, obviously, in my mind. But I've been watching these clips, and at a point, I did get a bit emotional. Sometimes the problem that we have is the fact that people expect you to talk constantly calmly. If you do not speak calm, people are not going to really listen to what you're saying, and they're gonna just label you a hooligan. But Julius Malema makes some crazy points that I'm sitting out here and I'm just like, that is intelligence in a person. Like, one thing I can go ahead and say is that Julius Malema is having answers for everything, and not just answers, honey. Like, when I tell you that man was sitting and destroying, okay, Shibubu, like, I mean, child, that lawyer did not even need any Valentine's action, because in my personal opinion, that giving it to him in court on a daily basis, okay? So guys, Julius Malema obviously was out there and he was making some valid points when it comes to the questions that was being given. I feel like Julius Malema is also a comedian, so of course there are certain parts that when he says, you're gonna just be like, now obviously I know the song as not Kiss the Boa, Kiss the Farm. I know a different statement. But obviously he's saying that they were singing Kiss the Boa, Kiss the Farmer, and when you listen, I mean, who's going to refute that? Because when you listen to it, it sounds it. It sounds it. And so he's saying that they were saying kiss the boer, kiss the farmer, and not kill the boer, kill the farmer, right? And then when they asked him, as I said, he even elaborated that to kiss them. Now, of course, with parts like that, there are certain other parts, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this particular part where they were talking about it seems as if there was a family, a white people family, that I think was, you know, executed or something like that, and they were farmers. You guys do need to remember that there was a time that, you know, there were attacks towards farmers, or that's what they were saying. And so, you know, when he was there, they were talking about the trauma that happened. Julius Malema actually brought out something that was very, very important, and something that I feel like in South Africa at this particular moment we still forget, that we still have people right now that are alive that faced apartheid. I need to repeat this, honey. We still have grandparents, parents that faced apartheid. So that trauma, that torture, it's still very fresh in their minds because they firsthand went through it. And then we've got a second generation of black people that saw their parents being tortured. For example, Julius Malema is saying that one night they were sleeping and cops just, you know, people came in, obviously white, and they pulled his mother's blankets, and she was not dressed because she was sleeping. And he saw that, and as a child, he said that he still lives with that trauma even till today. And thinking about that, you guys, like, can you compare years and years of slavery, torture, you know, all this trauma that black people have to 1 or 2 or 3 or even 10 families that, let's say, for example, may have been, you know, and not that those 10 families, I'm just giving us an example, may not be significant, but all I'm simply saying is that Julius Malema also did point it out, that is it only trauma when it's experienced by white people? What about the trauma that black people have experienced, the trauma that black people are still experiencing because of the system that white people benefited from, which was apartheid? For me, honestly, I do not even want to lie. I personally just feel like growing up, we were made to praise Mandela. We were made to look at Mandela as this person that is on top of the roof, and I will never disrespect Utata. I love him. I even went to his funeral. Not funeral, but you guys remember the time that, you know, we were paying our last respects. I and my sisters actually went there. We even saw him. However, looking at it, I personally just feel like 1994 is not really that long ago if you think about it. And I personally feel like there could have been more that was done. For black people, it should not have just been a matter of, okay, we're ending apartheid, let's forgive each other and move on, because it was only one group of people that had to do the forgiving and not the other. White people didn't have to forgive us. Forgive us for what? They are the ones that came in and they obviously abused us. They obviously stole from us. They did all this stuff. Honestly, just listening to Malema talk, it just also just, I'm not someone that is into politics just like that, but it also just also makes me sad, you guys. So there are stats that came out, you guys, that I had Malema actually saying that white people make less than 15% of South Africa. However, in less than that 15%, they own 90%, if I'm not too mistaken, of the land. Black people make over 80% of people in this country. Yet, we own less than 10% of the land in this country. And I think that when they used to talk about things like this, I used to just be like, you really can't see it fully if you're in Gauteng. I'm not even going to lie. The only way that obviously you're going to say, oh, is because if you go to your Sandton, then you're gonna get like those huge mansions and those huge yards. They have houses, you guys, mansions that have yards. I once worked for a company that I was working, it was under telecom, and so most of this, almost all of them, you guys, these white people, they actually have telecom in their households, right? And so I used to go and upgrade them, like, you know, it was the time that we were now introducing the 10 megabyte speed and the 20. So I remember I used to go to those houses, the appointments there and everything. And guys, when I tell you that, I would go there and I would just be shocked. like looking at these people's houses, looking at their backyards. There are people that like legit, we live in such separate worlds that sometimes you need to just enter and see for you to know that we really are in those separate worlds. So here obviously you have your apartment, your marquee as an apartment, we're fine with that, we're living our lives, that's fine. But if you go to places like Preside, you are definitely going to see the indifference. You'll find that one or white man's farm is like the whole a whole area that black people live. Like it's like one farm that belongs to one white man equals the space that black people have to share. So black people are now in shacks like this. Black people have RDPs and stands that are this small. Yet all that can be one white man's farm, and then the other white man has another farm just as big. The other one has got another farm that is even bigger, and it's black people that work there. And so it makes no sense, you guys. It honestly makes no sense. When I tell you that with all the valid points that Julius Malema is out here basically putting out, they might regret actually suing him, because he's out here also just exposing a lot of injustice that is happening in South Africa, especially when it comes to white people and black people. And it's not a matter of like we have a problem with white people, but I personally just feel like if you came into someone's house, stole something, I have a right to go and take that thing back, and I don't have to pay for it. Like, why should I? And the other part again that people just, I felt like, did not understand, Malema was not saying that we were just gonna go and take land from all farmers. No, he simply said that from the lands that you have, we need to see which portion of the land you are not using, obviously, and then we take it, we give it to black farmers that can basically farm. Land is everything. Land is everything. If you have land, you are rich. That's the reason why Venda is so rich, because Venda owns their land. Okay, majority of the land in Venda is owned by black people. If you go there, you even go to the mountain, you guys, the pieces of land that Venda people have, I don't know what happened back then, but let me tell you something. Land Venda belongs to Venda people, majority. Yes, we do have some white farmers that are coming in, we do have some white farmers that actually do have those space, but that's when you're now driving to Lois Richard, going up there almost as if you're going to Populukwan. But if you just go to the deep Venda, I have never seen a white man standing on any land, because land is even just controlled by the chief. And no white man I've seen they're owning. If they're owning, then most of them, I'm saying I've never seen. And so if you look at Venda, Venda is very prosperous, because we own our own land, people farm there, people eat, people sell, people do this, people do that. And the thing that one of the things that I'm really actually proud of is that you go to a spa, it's your friend. I know a friend of mine, you guys, that I went to varsity with, and she supplies, you know, like she supplies the I've seen cabbages, I have seen spinach, I've seen different stuff that she supplies to the, I think it's the spine Lois Richard. Is it Lois Richard? No, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting, but Elim. And I'm so proud of her, because that's something that we're just so used to. It's white people that do that, but in Venda they're not doing that, and that's why people are actually like making it a little bit more that side. Where else, when it comes to this side, most of the land here is basically owned by white people, and that's very much unfortunate, you understand? Because we have black people that can be willing to work, we have black people that can be willing to use that land for something, but hey, they don't have that land. So with this whole case, you guys, when it comes to Julius Malema, there are certain times where you can see that he's speaking from anger. There are certain times where when he spoke of he wanted for them to go, why don't they go to Sandton and look for pieces of land that are not being used and build RDP houses there? Oh my gosh. He made a valid point, because he said RDPs are actually there in Sandton. The only difference is that they call them the maize quarters. Why not just get a piece of land there in Sandton and have those RDPs built there? Get people who obviously majority is going to be black, stay there so that they can be closer to resources. If you work in Sandton Mall and you are a black person, most of the people can't afford the rent in Sandton. So what do? They have to travel daily. Why can't the RDPs be built in Sandton? obviously there's a huge rift, there's a huge split. And obviously when he was talking about this, he was talking about the resources, to say we need to all share the resources. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's quite crazy, and I definitely think that it was a wrong move to sue him like this, or to take him to court, because I personally feel like after this you might find that the EFF is definitely going to grow, because he's making some valid points. And the nice part about it this time is that he's not shouting, and that's the part. He's not shouting, he's speaking, and that makes it easier for you to actually understand and see the level of intelligence that this man really is. I do not agree with everything that he says, but I do not want to lie. I'm very much impressed at his level of thinking. I'm very much impressed at his level of just refusing to actually have black people continue to be oppressed in this whole nonsense they call freedom, because you are not free until you are liberated. And how does liberation come? Liberation comes through success. Liberation comes through money. Whether we want to talk about it or not, that is the truth. You can't tell me that I'm free, I'm liberated, but you don't have money. Like, if we don't have money, we still don't have anything, because poverty is still going to force us into acting like hooligans. Poverty is still going to force us into doing things that we don't want to do. Go to jails. Are they not filled with black people? Why? Poverty. People that are out there busy hijacking and doing this and this. Why? Poverty. They want to eat. So there is no liberation. And personally for me, there is no freedom if you're still chained by the chains of money. And they know, they control majority of everything here. The big companies, the corporates, they're owned by white people. What do we have as black people? And I feel like he also just exposed the ANC and their incompetence. At this moment, you guys, our country is at the worst it has ever been. And guess what? It's still going down. That's my prediction, honey. Unless if we get a new president. I mean, at first I was giving my president, some, okay, but girl, Zuma ran this country down the drain. That's my personal opinion. Our president now, I feel like he's just too much of a businessman to can run a country. And with what happened to Marikana and everything, it's just... But anyway, ninjas, I want you guys to go and comment down below what you guys think. Did you see some of those clips? If you guys have not, please do comment down below, and I'm sure that later I may actually just do a video and put some of those clips together, and you guys, like, you will be really shocked. I kid you not. Malema is very intelligent. That man is very intelligent. And I think that, him talking at the tone that he's talking now, it just took out the whole... That man is very intelligent. I'm very impressed with Julius Malema. But anyway, go ahead and comment down below. Do not forget to thumbs up this video and share. And I'll see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.